Hello everyone, it's a sunny day in Vilnius here today, but it's also a good time to talk about my system. I had a few comments where you asked about how I'm playing this or that and how it's what I'm using. So I was planning to film such a video for a while, and now I think it's the best time to do that because I think the system after several changes has settled a bit. So firstly, I'll talk about my analog part of the system, the turntable and all the related stuff. And then I'll talk about the digital part. And for the end of the video, I'll play a musical clip from digital. So if we start with a turntable, I'm using a Denon 103 DL103 cartridge, and I have it slightly modified with some sticky glue. I don't know how it's called. Anyway, to avoid resonances, the plastic shell is resonating a lot without that. So I found that putting sticky stuff on it, serves very well. Then I have Lenso L70 which is basically the mechanical part is stock, and I've made a heavy plinth for it. From the turntable, the signal goes to these LTEC 4722 transformers. They are actually microphone transformers, but it's nice that they have two primary windings. So I'm using at the moment Denon 103, and it's the 150 ohm primary winding, which sounds best. And these transformers are actually suitable for orthophone SPU, which I plan on trying next. I think Denon at the moment it's not up to my system level, and I need to upgrade the cartridge. I think Denon sounds a bit lean at the moment, and maybe it's due to cables. I have some silver cables here. So these are Ochelbach NF1, which has silver plated central conductor and then copper shield. This is a tube preamplifier, and it's made by a local guy in Vilnius here. You can find these on eBay. I think it's a good entry-level tube preamp, phono preamp. It sounds nice. However, I've modified it a bit. I've added some better capacitors for the output. Yeah, and then for the wires, I'm using some Chinese Nordost Odin knockoffs, and they are going into the tube amplifier. Something to mention about cables as well. I'm now using this custom-made power cable. It's also handmade by a guy in Vilnius, and it makes sound very organic, very dynamic, very musical. I found that it adds a lot of space, and it doesn't add any harshness to sound. Like if you take, for example, silver plated power cables, they add a lot of space, but they make a sound a bit harsh. And previously my main power cable was this also Chinese Furutech knockoff, and this one sounds much more muffled, smaller soundstage. However, it's one of the best sounding cables that you can get from Chinese. Yeah, I think maybe I'll make a dedicated video about power cables, which I have tried, and I'll talk about some of them. I mostly use affordable cables, but this one, however, is not from that part of the spectrum. I think he's charging now 700 euros for this power cable. Yeah, so that's for the analog part. I think so far so good. And for the digital part, I'm using this old MacBook with Audirvana locally, and I control playback with my mobile phone with a remote app. Then using the Wi-Fi, the sound gets into this SOTM SMS 200 endpoint, and it was I bought it with a impulse power supply, switching power supply, but I got some linear power supplies from a guy here locally in Vilnius, and it made the streamer or endpoint and the DAC, which these power supplies are suitable for both because they have 12 volt and 5 volt output. So power, it's very important. I think it's in my system, it's all about good power supplies. Also, I have a dedicated power line running from my electricity meter to the outlet just right behind this speaker, and it made a tremendous difference, much more than a change of a power cable of the last 1.5 or 2 meters can make. So I had 13 meters dedicated power ran from the electricity meter, and it made a huge difference. Then I'm using my custom-made silver USB cable. It's just 4 strands of silver, and I wrapped it in foil because it was too sensitive to RF. It didn't work without this foil. And last is the hard Q-test DAC, I think, with a power cable upgrade, and what I also have is dimmed lights. It uses less energy for lights and puts more energy into the dynamics. Yeah, so that's my system, and there was a clip about power tubes, and now I have 4 RFT tubes, and I'm totally happy with sound. It has huge dynamics, big sound stage, good localization of instruments, and I've taken out the free JJ tubes that I had, and they were much more harsh than these ones. So now that's about it. I think, well, the last thing is this equipment stand. It's custom made for me. It's pure oak, and it's each shelf is 5 centimeters in thickness, so it will not bend during time from the weight, and the legs are 6 by 6 centimeters. I think it fits very nice here and into the general idea of some wooden equipment or wood decorated equipment. So now let's finish this video with a clip, and I'll ask you, if you haven't, to subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every week, at least once in a week, but I try to do that more often now.